Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, I'll be bringing one of the strongest proofs for the truth of Islam, and I'll be refuting the contentions against it as well. This prophecy is quite famous. Almost all of you will already know about this, but the reason I'm making this video is primarily to refute the contentions against it, and also to give reasons why this is such a huge proof for the truth of Islam. Let's get started. The hadith basically, Ibn Majah 63, it's narrated in other books as well. When will the hour, he asked, this is referring to Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, when will the hour be? He said, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who is being asked about it does not know more than the one who is asking. He said, what are its signs? He said, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the slave woman gives birth to her mistress, and I'll get to this prophecy inshallah. And when you see in a later video, I'll get to that prophecy, and I think that's a huge proof for the truth of Islam as well. And when you see barefoot, naked, destitute shepherds competing in constructing tall buildings. Now, I don't need to go into details to show how this prophecy has been fulfilled, right? The Arabs, the Bedouin Arabs, are competing in constructions of tall buildings, right? The tallest building in the world is in Dubai, Burj Al Khalifa, right? And Arabs are building more and more building and skyscrapers, and this prophecy has clearly been fulfilled, right? No sane person will doubt this. Now, why is this prophecy such a massive proof for the truth of Islam? Mainly because it is saying something that is beyond counterintuitive and something that no one would possibly make up. Now, think about this point. Bedouin Arabs were some of the poorest people throughout history. These people were poor for thousands of years before Islam and for 1300 years after Islam, right? Saying that these poor people will become rich enough to compete in constructing tall buildings is basically saying that the entire societal balance of power will shift. The poor will become the rich suddenly and massively rich, not just a little bit rich, massively rich. This is beyond counterintuitive. Who would make up this prophecy, right? This is equivalent to saying some poor sub-Saharan region, right, or some poor region in one of the South American countries, they will become the richest people in the world. Who would make up this prophecy, right? No one would make this up. No one would believe this, and based on the circumstances, it would be a beyond irrational thing to say, looking at the material circumstances. But this prophecy was made by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it's fulfilled in front of our very eyes. Some of the poorest people throughout human history have suddenly become amongst its richest people, right? There is no way to deny the impact of this prophecy and the prophecy being fulfilled. Now, those are some things that most of you already know, right? But it's something that needs to be stated again because it is such a strong proof for the truth of Islam. Now, I'll rebut some of the contentions brought against this prophecy, and this prophecy faces some of the most pathetic contentions among any arguments for the truth of Islam. This faces a whole host of pathetic contentions. These five are the most common ones, right? And I want to just take them out one by one. First contention is the hadith mentions that naked Bedouin Arabs will compete in the construction of tall buildings, right? But the people who are building these tall buildings and the Arabs who own those buildings are wearing clothes. Here is a very simple response to this. If those people are rich enough to compete in constructions of tall buildings, right? They have enough money to buy clothes. This is just such a pathetic contention. A second contention that is mentioned is that the height of the buildings is not given in the hadith. Okay, why does the height of the buildings need to be given in the hadith? Our argument for this prophecy being a proof for the truth of Islam does not require the height of the buildings being mentioned. The murtad or the Christian or the atheist who are making this contention are basically making a criteria without bothering to justify it. They are assuming that this hadith needs to mention the height of the buildings. But why? Why should we take the criteria seriously? Right? If we came up with a random criteria without any proof, would anyone else take it seriously? Even when we have proof, the kuffar don't accept it, right? So why should we accept their baseless criteria? So if someone asks the heights, if someone says height of the building are not given in this prophecy, so it's not convincing. Where did you get the criteria from? Where did that person get that criteria from? By the way, there's another hadith, right? And that actually has something about the height of these buildings, but I won't go into that now, and I don't need to go into that now because the murtad contention or the atheist contention is based on nothing but a value judgment. They don't. Why should we accept anyone's value judgments? I mean, value judgments are not arguments, right? This is something everyone should agree to. Now let's go to the third contention. The Arabs are hiring others to build tall buildings, like Indians or Asians. So what? I mean, think about this point. The same thing with clothes supply here. If these people are rich enough to build tall buildings, right? Why would why wouldn't they hire others to build those buildings? I mean, when someone has wealth, right? One of the main reasons or benefits of it is to reduce the amount of work that particular person has to do. The menial labor is hired out to others, right? Why can't these Arabs do that if they have if they have enough money to build tall buildings, right? They would have enough money to hire others to do it. Fourth contention: people have been people have been building tall buildings throughout human history, right? Okay, so what? This is not just about the prophecy. It's not just about someone building tall buildings, right, or a particular group building tall buildings. This is the most counterintuitive. This is beyond counterintuitive because it is saying that the poorest people in society will become rich enough to build tall buildings. This is predicting our entire societal shift, which is why this prophecy is such a massive proof for the truth of Islam. Fifth point, this can be about the Arabs who built buildings in Islamic Golden Age, right? Or the Arabs who built who built all buildings in the early Islamic period in the first two centuries. Firstly, think about this point. We have major Sunni authorities in in the Middle Ages who are saying this is about the Bedouin Arabs, not the city Arabs, right? This is Imam Nawawi, Imam Ibn Hajar al Asqalani, and Imam Qurtubi, three of the most important Sunni scholars of the time period, right? Now, think about this point. They are all saying this is about the Bedouin Arabs, and this is not some recent scholarship. These scholars are not recent that we may assume that they are saying it because this is happening right now, right? The tall buildings are being built by Bedouins right now, so they are making this interpretation after the event is taking place. That is not the case. This interpretation is taking centuries before the Bedouin Arabs were competing in construction of tall buildings, which is what gives it its serious weight. By the way, the references for those three scholars saying what I'm about these tall buildings being about Bedouin Arabs, right? And those are in the book, The Forbidden Prophecies. Inshallah, I'll link it in the video description. It seemed to me that quoting those here was not really necessary because I mean they are there and that's a common resource, the Forbidden Prophecies book. especially in regards to prophecies of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In conclusion, I think you should have seen that this is a major proof for the truth of Islam, and there are very strong reasons why this is a huge proof for the truth of Islam. More than that, the contentions brought against these prophecies are just desperate and pathetic. This contentions against this prophecy or any other prophecy of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that is used as an argument. I mean, these are beyond pathetic contentions. And to be honest, one of the reasons to highlight these contentions is because it shows how strong the arguments for the truth of Islam are. Because these are the best contentions that can be come up, that anyone can come up with against these arguments, and these contentions are beyond pathetic. Inshallah, I'll keep making more content like this. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really need the support from my fellow Muslims because I think I'm doing a very important work here, and a lot of my arguments, not this one, but a lot of my arguments are something that isn't really focused on other YouTube channels and by other people, especially like the stuff about Hadith preservation. And I think I have a lot of strong arguments in other areas as well. So please do subscribe to my channel. Please like the videos, comment about your thoughts on the video, and I, inshallah I'll be basically keep making videos with after 2 days. After each 2 days I'll upload a new video inshallah. Till next time, assalamu alaikum.